Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Good to see you all. We have an update on the Michael Vaughan case. I'm sure everyone knows by now what that is. Welcome new moderators to help with any kind of funny monkey business, because this is a very important live for me and for the case surrounding Michael Vaughan. Now, what am I talking about? Well, if you live under a rock and you don't know what's going on, Stacey Wondra, who was named at one time a suspect in the Michael Vaughan case in Fruitland, Idaho. He went missing on July 27, 2021. Between 6:40 and 7 p.m., vanished near his home. In November of 2022, an excavation started on the backyard of Stacey Wondra's home, where he and his wife at the time, Sarah Wondra, was living, along with roommates, if you will, Brandon Shirtliff, and a guy, a rando, named Adrian. Hope everybody caught that. So Brandon Shirtliff has already done an interview with JLR before. Now Brooke from Crime Lines and Lies, who did a great job today, did a wonderful job today, and is much appreciated that she did that, and that Stacey went on her panel, answered some questions that I think everybody had. Hey, Grammy S7, good to see you. Daphne, welcome in. Lenny, hello, hello. Violet, good to see you. Widow 13. Julia, Jeep Girl, my homie, good to see you. We were the weasels in the chat that they were speaking on today, whoever Forgetful Lucy was. Probably a weasel. And that's cool. Brooke, my original, my OG gangster, my number one. Thank you for being here. And again, I appreciate my new mods. Much love to you. Now let's get into it. Mr. Adrian, bad boy. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the look he's going for. I think that's that's his niche, along with that, unfortunate criminal background. But, maybe people live and learn and do better. That was a few years before MJ went missing with the whole drug trafficking. But we're going to wait on that one. Let's be clear, I'm no fucking weasel, says Jeep. Yes, but we must own up to our mistakes of the past. And I'm going to give the weasel some credit. I know. Oh, I know. But look, credit, wherever it is due, needs to be spoken upon. And no matter how we feel about our pasts, we must give that to them. And so what am I talking about? Well, when I heard, you're gonna know what I'm talking about here in a minute. But just remember the name Labor Dave. Labor Dave. It was a friend of Stacey Wondra's that he went to go visit in Boise. And we had sleuthed Labor Dave. That's not his actual name, that's his business name. And you're going to see some very graphic content about Mr. Labor Dave. More so what happened to the poor bloke. He got his ass beat, let me tell you. I mean, purple, black, blue, green, bruises, bless his heart. He got stomped and then stomped again. And I don't know, I can't remember if it was because he owed money to a contractor, something like that, but we'll review it. But I will tell you, if you are the faint of heart, do not watch this. When I say Labor Dave, run. If you cannot handle severe wounds, bruising, and facial swelling, because homeboy got stomped. And it's not pretty, and it's really, really graphic. So just a a heads up on that. So when I was listening to Stacey Wondra, first of all, I was shocked. Stacey Wondra was on panel. I mean, jaw hit the floor, probably tooted on the way, run into the computer going, holy moly. I cannot believe this is happening. Go Brooke. Woohoo. From Crime Lines and Lies. But then when I started listening, I was like, man, doesn't this sound familiar? Kind of like I've already kind of clarified everything he did before he ever came on. And it was pure speculation, and it was pure pulling it out of my cheeks, with the exception of common sense, receipts, and what makes sense with all of them together. I pride myself on that. I think I pride myself on saying what is speculation, when it is speculation, and when it is actual, irrefutable proof, facts, receipts. But enough tooting my own horn. Let me check in with chat, and we're going to get started on the review of Stacey Wondra's Q&A on Crime Lines and Lies. I always say her channel name wrong. Crime Lines and Lies panel of Stacey Wondra. We're going to get into it. We're going to go over it, scrutinize it, flip-flop it, and all that jazz. Who's brown nosing? No brown nosing in my chat. Bama Cat says he posts to be back on in the morning too. Yes, he posts to be back at 7 a.m. Central, I believe. And let me go ahead and shout out Crime Lines and Lies. Now look, if you do this one more time, shut off these notifications. Sorry. I had to talk smack to my computer. If you've heard of me and Crime Lines kind of going at it, if you will, and we really didn't really go at it. We just had some problems with the way that we covered the Michael Vaughan case, which is A-okay. It's okay to have that feeling. All of that is irrelevant. None of the feelings of how we feel about each other or I swear on my life. Listen here. One moment. Okay. Getting back on track here. You're not going to distract me. Computer problems. We're not going to worry about the drama. We're not going to worry about the issues that we've had, if ever, whatever. I don't care, because this is important stuff and you really need to listen with me. I know my voice puts people to sleep, but I got an extra pep in my step, and I've got my voice mod ready, my soundboard ready. All right. I've got some of those, my notifications will help too. Wake you up if you try to fall asleep on me, y'all. Okay. Let's see. I got this. I need y'all's input. All right. Don't make me, because I will go there. I will.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
So you feel me? All right. Let's get into it. Crime Lines and Lies. Shout out to you, ma'am. You did a great job today. And I'm going to use the live that you did with Stacey Wondra under the Fair Use Act. I do not own rights to this content that I'm about to play. It is Crime Lines and Lies. Let's go. First of all, any questions before we start? Anybody confused on anything? Need any clarifications, etc.? You just let me know in the chat. Mods, hit me up if I missed it, and then we'll get started. While I wait for that, I'm going to check on chat. Butter, toffee, coffee, and chocolate in hand, ma'am. Lenny's got it. Lenny's got it down. I want some. I want some of that. Wilted Lettuce, good to see you, hun. Glad you're here. Shani, good to see you. I'm about to throw this computer in the trash for its garbage behavior right now. I don't know how else to say turn off notification sounds. I don't know how else to say that. Maybe that'll work. All right. I don't think anybody has any questions, so let's just roll that beautiful bean footage.
So glad you decided to join.
Can anyone hear that? I want to make sure. Okay, good.
What you know about Michael Vaughan.
Okay. Me too.
Again, this is Sarah. Excuse me. I pulled a Sarah. She said, yes, my name is Sarah. This is Stacey Wondra again, as you see. One of the named suspects in the Michael Vaughan case at one time. We don't know if he still is. Again, appreciative that he is here. Now, he's going to be coughing a lot, making a lot of movements. Please understand that this man has some, he said it, so don't come at me, disabilities, if you will, some tics. I've done some sleuthing on the man. His mother had posted on Facebook way back in the day about his stints in assisted living facilities, basically, which unfortunately I believe he was removed from. Everybody was removed because they shut down due to whatever it may be. The mayor saying, we don't need this, and left everybody stranded because the healthcare system in America is awesome. And they really care about people who have difficulties. So don't judge him on that. Please don't worry about those little things. Listen. That's all you got to do is listen. That's it. So please be open-minded. Thank you.
Do you want to start with questions, or what do I do?
Well, let's just start with, let's just go through our conversation this morning. Let's talk July 27th, 2021, the day that Michael was abducted.
Okay. So it was very weird. Sarah, Brandon, and I had initially gone and let's backtrack. So earlier that day, I had a call for a taxi ride. Wanted to go from Ontario to Boise.
Okay, I don't know why everybody skipped over this who has reviewed this already. I think it's been only one person, but look, okay, whoa. You know, if you know me real well, you know that I have been covering the Michael Vaughan case extensively, and you know that I've always wondered from my past videos about Stacey in particular, what was he doing that day? Did he have taxi rides? What was he doing? He normally is just dispatch where he tells everybody else what to do because he's really good at managing those taxi rides. He is the operations manager, if you will. But this day, today, Sarah was busy, allegedly in Nampa with Brandon and Adrian, goofing off at the mall, etc. Now, I've always assumed that he was either driving a taxi or somebody who allegedly Brandon states was driving the taxi for some extra quiche, right? What was it? So many cents per mile was the pay, I believe. Faith Taxi LLC, by the way, is the name of this taxi business that they run out of their home. And so who else was driving? Was there a guy with a J name that was kind of around at the time, but then he decked out 3 days, within 3 or 4 days of starting? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe. That's just what Brandon said. So anybody out there, Brooke from Crime Lines and Lies, if you're watching, please take some notes real quick. Because I really need to know, and I think Brandy needs to know, and Michael's family needs to know, and police may need to know. Who is this J name? Does he remember? Do you remember a J name driver? And most importantly, how many rides that day, how many taxi rides other than the one that he's about to explain, happened that day? Please ask if I don't get to do it with JLR soon, because we really want Stacey on panel so that we can all ask some questions in a nice, calm way that are very specific but not intrusive, because we really want to clear your name. We really do. I'm sure you do too. But who else was there that day? Was there anybody there that day? Hopefully tomorrow's live at 6 or 7 a.m. Well, those are some of the questions that will help. And if it's too much, if it's too intrusive on the case, please don't. If it might hinder it or sabotage something. So what did I say about the time frame? I was like, Brandon and all them went to Nampa at the mall and goofed off, and Adrian went to see his fam at the Applebee's. I like Applebee's. I really like their appetizers. Love them. And their chips. And he went to go see his fam, his son, ex-baby mama. Everybody else is goofing off, went to Kuna house, Brandon's mama's house, the one that they searched with the leaky toilet. And I really wanted to know what time these alleged taxi rides happened with Stacey and whoever else. He answers it, guys. And would you be damned if I wasn't balls on accurate with the speculative time that I assumed. Woohoo, give myself a round of applause because I work hard, y'all. I do. Round of applause to me. Because it was really close. And I think that it's important that people listen to my content from time to time, because
It's never been about that. Never been about playing no shit.
I really am not.
You don't play no shit. You
Don't
feel
play
me?
no shit. You feel me? Okay, moving on.
Sarah wasn't available, but I was. So I was like, okay, I'll just go do the taxi ride. At that same time, I took the taxi ride and I decided to hang out in Boise for a little bit. I think I'd gone and visited a buddy of mine in Boise. I don't remember exactly the specifics. I know that I was
Can you
I was
tell us
gone for a few hours.
who the buddy was?
Yeah, the old employer that I did work for, but he also became a friend. His name was the company was Labor Dave's, and then his name was David Fears. But he
All right, here's where I got to shout out to my weasels. My tweezels. We did good, didn't we? Back in the good old days, we were good sleuths. Good times. Good times. But those days are over. Go to hell. But we were good sleuths, and we are good sleuths. And look, we did the thing. You know how I know we know? I'll show you. I want to prove to you how good we were and are, just separate. We looked at Labor Dave. We did. I'll show you the proof. One moment, please. Here's me, sleuthing away. There's me. This is dated April 2023. Sleuthing away at Labor Dave. I don't know who this Adam Butler is. Sorry, Butler. Sorry, Adam, but your last name is Butler. And Tanner Butler is on my who the hell are you and what are you doing list. Dog bone looking ass list. So sorry about this. I didn't mean to dox you. And Lacey, you too. But I just wanted to show you. We were looking at Labor Dave. Because of what you said on your post here. Yeah, I know you're probably thinking, Eve, why the hell do you care about Labor Dave? Why were you looking at him? Well, because Mr. Stacey said, I would just like to formally apologize to Dave Fears, which is his name, for my rude and disrespectful words of verbal attack, making the accusations of cheating on his wife. Stacey! Sir! Why did you say that? That's not nice. This was out of anger and frustration because I didn't agree with something that had nothing to do with him. I hope to restore my relationship and hope to do some work for you again. If any questions of this come up, please call me, blah, blah, blah. Thanks. He got a new number, so don't be writing that number down. Trifling. But look, this is why. We know what we're talking about. We know what we're doing. Even if you think we don't, we know what we're doing. And for that, you must give us credit where credit is due.
She worked hard for the money. So hard for the money. I worked hard for the money, so you better treat me right.
Well, that's right. All right. And I also want to know, excuse me, what happened to Labor Dave? Because I don't think I see him doing much business. I'm not really sure, but I hope he's doing okay. Because this trigger warning, if you're not listening, let me get my beep beep out. Trigger warning. Wake up. This is bad. You hear me? You feel me? This is bad. What happened to Labor Dave? Here we go. Quote, this is a whole different kind of pain. Boise business owner says he was viciously beaten by disgruntled employee. How horrible. And that ain't right. I don't think it was Stacey. Don't think that I'm getting at that. It was not Stacey. But I do think that people need to know that this is a horrific act against somebody. And thank you for befriending Mr. Dave Fears, because he got stopped, and bless him. Even though he seems to be
NFL scouting.
Real quick, he seems to be not well liked. Even though he is not well liked, nobody deserves a rearranging of the face, which is what it obviously had happened to him. Poor guy. Damn you, KTVB, and your ads.
Locked On daily podcasts for every NHL team.
Shifley just screams Vegas Golden Knight, if you ask me. I could just see him getting dealt. The Vegas Golden Knights.
One moment. Some bullshit.
After he says he was viciously beaten by a former employee. David Fears, who owns a handyman business, says he's been unable to work since he was attacked last week. And we do have a warning here for you. Some of these pictures of his injuries are tough to look at. They are graphic. Fears says he was jumped by his employee and 4 other men after a dispute about money. The attack left him with black eyes, and Fears says he needs facial reconstructive surgery.
I got somewhere between 6 and 9 fractured bones in my face, which include everything from the under the orbital areas of the bone structure, affecting the jaw slightly. So basically, my face is like the bone structure is a floating mess right now. This is a whole different kind of pain. I have to sleep upright.
Now, Fears filed a police report, and according to court records, his alleged attacker is facing battery and injury to property charges. It's unclear, though, if the other men he says were involved are charged. Since he's been out of work, one of Fears' clients started a GoFundMe to help out. If you'd like to contribute, we have
That's
a link
awesome.
to the story. It's online at ktvb.com right now.
Ooh, ouch. Dave out there, Dave Fears, I am so sorry that happened to you. I really am. When I saw that, I was like, my God, the people of Boise are ruthless. It is a dog-eat-dog world out there. And that's horrible. I don't care what happened. You just don't. That's damn near attempted murder, in my opinion. Now, I don't know what happened after that. But I wanted to show you that sometimes your girl has good things, and the people that she surrounds herself with aren't dummies. And that's it. But I do want to know the real reason why I brought this up is, do you remember everybody going around saying, who is this guy in the Escalade? Where's your Escalade, Stacey? You better start talking. Right? I didn't do that, but others did. Off with your head kind of thing. So was he the guy that was in the Escalade, your friend that was on the Ring camera footage? Just to clear it up, not that you owe us anything, right? But all I'm asking is that the guy in the Escalade? The video of the Ring footage or ADT footage. If you could just clear that up. You leave a comment. I don't care what you do. It's just been bothering me. I'm OCD real bad. And maybe that will clear some things up so that Stacey can look even more credible with what he's saying on Crime Lines and Lies. That's it.
I'd gone to visit him, I think, to talk to him about some extra work at the time. You're welcome, Chrissy. So I hadn't been in Boise. Like I said, it was only for a few hours, but I literally had just stopped to see Dave, and I think it was discussing some extra work that he had wanted me to do for him. He had me do a lot of labor gigs. A lot of it was moving gigs or sitting on a riding lawnmower and mowing a lot of the LDS churches. He had a contract with them.
Is my chat still here? I told y'all, listen, I'm getting people dropping off. I told y'all I'm going to beep y'all and make you up because this is important stuff. It really is, because he's telling you exactly what he did that day. He seems to be lucid. It seems to be fine, seems to be calm, doesn't seem to be hiding anything so far. He might have some ticks here and there, but I think the poor guy just has them. Okay. Just checking. Keep girl awake. Jeep girl, right? She's the worst one. If it wasn't Krusty falling asleep, it was Jeep. But this is important because he is literally telling his side of the story, and everybody is going to keep asking, well, what about this and what about that? But just listen and remember. I'm trying to make it a little entertaining enough to where that you will remember it, because as I always say, a good laugh and a good chuckle makes a memory stick harder, right? I could be wrong.
But there was not there was nothing going on in the neighborhood when I had left. When I got back to the neighborhood from Boise, it was still mellow. It was still calm. There was nothing unusual going on. And I got back home, and it was just like a normal, average home. I mean, there was no. I mean, Brandon was there, I was there, and Sarah was there.
What
Uh,
time?
I don't know. I'd say probably close to 3:30, or 4, maybe.
Okay. So it seems like he's coming back from his taxi business stuff at 3 or 4. Okay. But he says he leaves around, I think, 11. Let's listen.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like I said, this was years ago. You know what I mean? I don't remember verbatim everything, so I'm sorry if I'm not able to remember specifics, but I try. But I got home and everything was just as it should be. You know, as a normal household should be. You know, peaceful, quiet. You know, not nothing exciting. You know. And then Brandon had uh, approached Sarah and I because he had been asking for a little while, but he wanted Sarah and I to help him go get his vehicle from Cuna, which was parked at his mom's house. So um, about when it started getting dark, probably 5:30, 5:45, somewhere around the end of the 5 o'clock hour, we all got ready and got into the Sierra, the red burgundy truck, and I made sure that
Whose truck is?
Okay. Lurkers in the back. People who have been here faithfully. Remember when I pulled up that faithful red burgundy truck in the background of Carson Starkey's Facebook post selling his green truck in May of 2021, I think. Did anybody remember that? So I was like, I wonder if the tow truck was the green one or the burgundy one. And then I realized that later on, when it was too late, that Brandon had kind of cleared it up, but it was hard. It was like one of those read between the line things, right? But it was one of those trucks. I was like, it's got to be either one of those. It's the burgundy one. I just wanted everyone to be clear on that. If I can find the damn screenshot again, because there's like 18,000 of them in Discord, hard to keep up with. Let me see. Let me just. There it is. Dang. Surprised at myself. Jeep, if I send you messages, it's because it's easier for me just to post it. So excuse me for all the blasting of the Discord DMs. It's easier just to get it from you or your server. See if it posted. It's getting there. But while we wait, while I prove it to you, sleuthers be sleuthing, man. Somebody's mad. Somebody keeps blowing me up. Did I do something wrong? I hope I don't sabotage any interviews. That's not what I mean to do. I must be pissing someone off. I don't know. Stacey, if you're listening, don't go. Don't back out. We need you. We'll pay you for your services. I promise. We are not, I am not trying to make this go south. I swear. I'm actually trying to help you. I've been trying to clear you without saying clear you for this whole time. But, you know, only the law enforcement can clear you. And that's just the facts. So remember this one? Remember I was like, it must be this burgundy truck that's really hard to see back there. Boom, right here. So it looks like one of them beat up, you know, work trucks. Chevy work trucks, I think, or whatever you said it was. I know that's not a good picture, but it's right here. It's right here. And this is 1102 Red Wing, where they live, where the excavation happened. All right.
That, by the way, because I don't know.
No, that burgundy truck is ours. It was ours. It got repossessed because we were late on the payment on it.
I really, I don't even know if Stacey will see this. Ironically, I have been covering this so extensively, yet I am the least one watched. The fuck? I don't know. Maybe it's my, the way that I present things and put people to sleep. I don't know. Maybe I should just back the hell out of this YouTube thing. I might suck really bad at it. TikTok was so much better. I was actually entertaining. But was it Kim's Cars? I believe it might be Kim's Cars. And the reason why I say that is because for someone who seems to be shady from all of these channels that are now like, oh, he's a good guy, he's kind of cool, when they were going to off with your head any moment. I saved you from Miss Ilda, Randy's boss, from coming at you. Poor guy. Had to call the popo and say, quit harassing that man. You, Stacey. But I'm the bad guy. Remember, I'm the bad one. Don't listen to Eve. And yeah, I'm salty on that shit because it isn't right. But you and Sarah were put on a Kim's Cars, I believe, webpage, giving a good review on Kim's Cars in Caldwell. And that could have been the Lexus that you got this from. But there was multiple cars that were being repossessed, or, you know, you guys were having issues with things, and I get it, you know. But you did have a review on Kim's Cars website that said, thank God for Kim's Cars. You know, they gave us a vehicle when we really needed it with good payment plans, even though blah, blah, blah. Oh, thanks, Grammy. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lenny. I guess I could broadcast your comments. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's very ironic that once was on the radar, meaning, you know, the Wondras, because they were next door to the Starkeys, who were questionable from their background, and that's being very, 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 very nice about it. It was pretty obvious that nothing looked suspicious whatsoever. Nothing. Zilch, not a zip. So I really want to know what triggered this entire thing to make you guys look suspicious. Was it geofencing data? Is it somebody around you guys? Did you see something? I don't know. But you guys obviously hold something. Was it retaliation between you and your wife, soon to be ex-wife? There's been a lot said about the relationship falling apart. Was it Tanner Butler? Brandon, whatever. Somewhere in that noggin, and somewhere in somebody that's around this situation knows something. There's an informant on the loose, maybe. And the only person that I could think of that would probably know more than anybody is not Sarah. And I don't even think Adrian is. I think homeboy was just coming to visit his damn family and got involved in some shit. What did he say? You know, they'll always try to lock up the only black man in Idaho or in Fruitland. Was that the message? Because there's not a lot of that. A lot of African Americans in Fruitland specifically. It's a town of 5,000 people. Adrian's words, not mine. Don't come at me. Brother is handsome. He's a handsome dude in his rap videos. I think he's a model on one of these pages that he promotes himself and a voice actor. Bro's a jack of all trades. I don't know how he does it. But damn it, he also is wrapped up in some conspiracy. Adrian, damn. But somebody knows something. Or you're guilty of something, or you're being framed. And I heard you talking about that lawsuit. So just keep your mind open.
So they repossessed it. But that's the only vehicle that we've ever had a repo on. The rest of the vehicles that we've owned or have had, have all been, paid up on time or whatnot. So the burgundy truck is what we took to go pick up Brandon's car, and I made sure that I put a tow strap in the back of the truck, and other I don't know, like just safety stuff, for the road, because we were not using a tow dolly or anything. We're literally just towing it with a strap. So you got to take extra precautions when you do that type of stuff, especially towing a vehicle, and not being really secured, other than the person steering the car behind you. We had gone to his house, picked up his car. Sarah was driving the truck. I was in the passenger seat, and Brandon was in the back seat.
Okay, so we established that around 5:45 to 6 o'clock, he states that everybody was getting frisky to go to get this damn car towed using the burgundy truck that was repossessed. So remember, abduction time 6:40 to 7 per law enforcement. We know that to be a fact. A fact. Because law enforcement, even if it's a lie, it's still a fact. That's what law enforcement is saying. Right? Because they can lie. But we're gonna go with it. He's getting out ready to go about 6 o'clock. Let's get our clothes on, eat a snack, let's go. And they're gonna strap tow this thing in that beat up pickup. That is very dangerous. You have to be very careful. That is a hazard sometimes if it gets a little too squirrely, or you don't know what you're doing, or you hook it up wrong. I know, believe me. You could end up having one of those situations where it looks like you're, a jet skier in a boat, and you're going left and right over those waves. And then eventually you're going to crash and burn. Same situation with a car and a tow like that with a strap.
I preferred Sarah to drive most places just because, I don't know, I was a bigger guy, and it was uncomfortable for me to sit behind a wheel.
Put a 1 in the damn chat if I've said that. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard me say, from what I understand per the research I've done, from the TikToks I've watched, the endless hours of hearing Miss Sarah go on and 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 on. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you. Yeah, I am tooting my own horn because nobody was listening. Nobody was listening because you were mad at me. When we could have already established this, and now we need a... God dang. Hellcat's like 1. Not only does she hear it on the videos, but she hears it in my Discord. She gets to have it 2, 3, 4 times. So does Brooke. My lovely mind. Thank you. So can we establish I'm credible? That's all I'm asking for everybody else who's either new or hates me, but kind of needs some content to watch. Stop hating.
The time, and I had literally driven all, I drove earlier that day, and it was hurting me. So, but
Now, what time are we talking about? Don't get confused by the chat, because I mean we'll get to questions in a second.
I can't even see the chat.
Oh, you can't?
No,
Oh.
maybe I have to press chat. No,
it's okay, hon. Don't even worry about it. A lot of people are just saying you look.
But he was watching chat while he was in jail. He's been lurking. Lurkers in the back.
Great. You've lost a lot of weight.
Oh, thank you guys.
They're not saying that you looked bad before.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one question, a lot of people have is let's start from the beginning of the day, July 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you got the taxi call.
The most important part.
The beginning of the day was, as the usual. Woke up from, obviously sleeping. Woke up, had some coffee. Kind of laid around the house, with Sarah and Brandon, and that was literally the highlight of the morning. I mean, we watched some TV, I think, or a movie, or I don't remember exactly, but there was nothing unusual that day at all. Out of the ordinary. We just did the same routine that we always did, which was get up, have your coffee, get dressed, get showered for the day. Like I said, I think we may have watched a movie or it was a movie or TV show. I don't remember. But
sorry, some of it's
I know that the TV show
irrelevant,
that
but
I really were into were The Good Doctor and I really was obsessed with Chicago PD. So just shows like that.
The Good Doctor is a
we
great
watched.
show.
So I don't remember exactly if it was a movie or TV show, but so that was literally like throughout the day, and then I got the taxi call probably. I think it was like around 11, and person wanted to go from Ontario.
Okay, so I've always wondered what taxi rides were did that day, and who did them. Well, he's saying he left about 11 to do a taxi ride from Ontario to Boise. Ontario is not far at all. It's a hop, skip, and a jump over the bridge and through a little bit of rough neighborhood area. And while you're in Ontario, I think it's 7 minutes on how to get there, if my memory serves me correctly. 7 to 10, depending on which way you're going. It doesn't take long to get to Ontario from Fruitland is what I'm saying. Fruitland. That it takes an hour to get from. Oh, you're talking about Boise. I'm talking about Fruitland to Ontario. Sorry, guys, I should have clarified. Yes, to Boise it's about an hour. Yeah, 40 minutes to an hour depending on traffic. But from Fruitland to Ontario is literally like 5 minutes, roughly. So I wonder if this person, which is probably innocent, I don't know, and should not be bothered, but maybe this taxi ride was innocent, but could it have been somebody that was a little sketch? I don't know.
Carried to Boise, so I went and picked him up. Probably I left the house about 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon, and took the Lexus that we had to go pick the client up and transported him to Boise. And I hung out in Boise, I think, for a
He
few
said
hours.
him.
Came home. Neighborhood seemed subtle and quiet. There's not a lot going on. Nothing seemed unusual at our house. Nothing was off. And then Brandon asked us if we would help him get his vehicle, so we agreed we would help him because he'd been bugging us for a while. So we took the truck and went and picked his car up with us in Cuna, and he steered his car behind, and Sarah and I were in the truck. And
Okay, Jeep, you know how you asked me, we don't really hear much about Brandon talking about Stacey. during this whole thing. When Brandon does his interview with JLR, well, I think I can answer your question right here. I think it's because Brandon was in the back, weeble wobbling with the tow strap in the car, hoping that he don't fly off the bridge or the highway, the Veterans Memorial Highway, to get to 1102. He was busy. He was focused. Not to mention, Sarah was driving and usually did. So it makes sense. At the time of Michael's disappearance, he was pushing very heavy numbers. Okay. And I'm not trying to, I do not fat shame. I don't care about all that stuff. I'm just saying the facts that he was a heavier set guy. And this is what Sarah was saying on her TikTok. So don't come at me, please. He looks wonderful. Good job, Stacey, on losing a lot of weight. You look great. But that was the truth. So that might be the answer to your question. Brandon was holding on for dear life in the back while Sarah was driving the truck, and Stacey was just probably next to her.
We towed his vehicle all the way back to Fruitland. When we got back, we noticed that there was an exceptional amount of police officers and people just walking around. And I told Sarah to pull over. I was like, let's find out what's going on. And we rolled the window down and we asked them, what's going on, what's happening, and they were like, well, a little boy was abducted. And I'm like, what? It made no sense because everything was at peace.
Who did you ask?
I don't remember. It was a police officer that we had talked to that was walking up the road from the main strip, 8th Street.
So there was a police officer, probably either Fruitland or Caldwell, because those were the main hitters that came to help. New Plymouth does not have, I don't think, a police department anymore. Don't even ask me how I know that. But Fayette County, I think, is pretty much the police department for New Plymouth. Hellcat can correct me if I'm wrong, or whoever is local. Hey, Mr. Eve. He's on baby duty. Everybody give him duty. Everybody give Mr. Eve some green hearts or whatever hearts you'd like. Just not the middle finger. I do that enough. For taking care of our two beautiful children while I do this live for you guys and for Michael Vaughan. Yay. Thank you so much, Mr. Eve.
I would not have been so sassy to you.
He's the real MVP, Mr. Eve. All right. So, here's what I was meant to play for you, Mr. Eve. Yeah, Mr. Eve. My baby daddy. Baby daddy duty. Hi, Happy Hippie, Priscilla Perry. Chris says, hey, Mr. Eve, you're the best. I agree, but Chris is the best. Better than the rest. Especially her damn Discord pictures. My God. So funny. All right. Back to business. So I would think, given with what he said, which I do believe him if he believes what he's saying to be true, that the police officer is either Fruitland or Caldwell because they were heavy on the scene. Probably Fayette County Sheriff was there. I believe I saw some search and rescue folks for the footage from the first day and the second day. So it makes sense. I do have a picture of 2 or 3 police officers walking up on Southwest 8th. And I believe they were Caldwell and Nampa. Mm-hmm.
Which is, you took 8th Street. 8th Street led you into our subdivision. We lived in a whole different subdivision than Michael Vaughan. Michael Vaughan lived on the opposite side. He lived on 9th Street. We lived off of, I think it was called Pintail Avenue or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the street that led into our subdivision was. It's been so long, but we stopped and asked, what was going on, and they told us, and we're like, that's really weird. And I was in the process of trying to get Brandon's car dismantled from or detached from my truck.
Okay, I have yet to hear anybody talk about this. And I know that I am ADHDing all over the place, but you remember Donna Serafina was like, in my vision, I saw a truck with a with a horse trailer in the back, and grandfather was mentioned. I was just minding my own business, sleuthing the hell out of Payette County, back roads, if you will. And I happened to come across I did have one of those scare toots. I get a little gassy whenever I'm sleuthing and spiritually in tune. And look, oh my God, y'all. I was like, Donna, hit me up, girl. Look, I'm on your level. I finally got the power. But damn, ain't that close? Donna. I was just minding my business. Sleuthing away. Damn. Anyway, sorry, I just had to show you. Scared me. Let's continue.
And Brandon and Sarah had gone and looked for Michael while I was doing that. I offered to go help. They're like, no, we'll just go out and do it. And I was like, okay. So they took off on foot. Carson's truck, mind you, I know that was a question a lot of you guys had. Carson's truck was never used that night. Carson has a truck, yes, with a light bar on it, but it was never, Carson would never let his truck out. I tried asking him to borrow his truck a couple times in the past, just to do like
When you were in jail.
I don't know, it was stupid. I don't remember exactly, but there was just there was times where I'd asked if I could borrow his truck, I think when like one of our vehicles were down or something like that. But he wouldn't even let that happen. So I know for a fact that he would not let his truck go out just with anybody. He wouldn't even let it go happen with me. He doesn't even let his best friend take his truck. So they went out and looked for him and came back and said they found nothing.
Found nothing. Found nothing. Scent dogs were all up in Hidden Meadows every month of 2021 from July onward. You want to know how I know? I'll show you. I'll show you. It's called FOIA. And you have to do some work. A lot of people don't want to put in the research, yet want to cover and take the words of whoever it is they believe, and it's downright doo-doo because they don't always know. Sometimes the parents just don't know, or they thought they knew, and they just need a reminder that the 911 call was not 710, it was 721. And that could just be because 911 calls don't show up on your call logs for safety reasons. That's all. No harm, no foul. Right? This is the shit that you need to be focusing on, the little things. So this is the 911 call log for July of 2021 that has all the calls except for whatever's redacted or missing, which there's quite a few. Sometimes it's an error in the system that they use because it's from the 90s, basically. From what I heard in the commissioner's meeting the other day, the damn headsets are falling off and they can't fix them because they're so old they don't have the parts for them. I digress. I know too much about that damn county. I should probably just move there and run it. So, for instance, some people have neighbor dispute problems. Some people call for medical transports, which you cannot get documentation on because that's none of your damn business. HIPAA. Sometimes you can find out if somebody had a warrant served on them. Not always can you figure out what the address is because it just reverts back to whoever authority is issuing those. It doesn't matter. This is Freedom of Information Act. You have every right to request this and ask for whatever you need. to do your own research. But this is how the 911 right here was figured out. Okay. It wasn't no big secret that we tapped into the database and, sneakily went in there and was like, take a picture. No, this is how it really is, just for you. And this is also how we kind of confirmed somebody going to the damn ER. Was it Sarah that was sick and you were really worried about her? Medical transport, Red Wing Street. Stacey was not lying. He was telling the truth on Facebook when he said, pray for my wife. She is having issues. Not only does this prove it, but her damn TikTok that anybody could go at any time and look. She was in a damn gown saying, ow, ow, I hope I'm okay. Now, not necessarily the day before Michael disappeared when he said that, but in other places on TikTok and stuff like that. She said that she has had issues in the past when she made a TikTok in October, which suggests that it's the same issues she may have probably had on 7/26, the day before. You feel me, right? Not always can you confirm with 100%, but you could work around that. All right? So he said Pintail. Did anybody hear Pintail? Wake up. I'm losing my folks here, and I know it's late. It's very late. And I bet there's drama out there that is very entertaining and way more entertaining than I am. But he said Pintail, which is, it's map time now. This is just the beginning, guys. When I sleuth from start to finish thoroughly as much as I can. What's really important here is he said that him and Brandon both have confirmed on their interviews so far that there was a neighbor that they had spoken to and asked questions about, hey, have you seen a little boy missing? Brandon said it was the neighbor diagonal from the home at 1102 Red Wing. That's what he said. Well, let's look at the street diagonal. What's the name of the street diagonal from Red Wing? Excuse me. It says Mallard Street on the maps, but just take my word. Here it is, Red Wing. What's Caddy Corner to Red Wing? Whitetail or Pintail? Pintail. Right? So it's one of these neighbors they talk to. Cool. Right on. Well, ironically, very ironically, there is something that I found that I haven't shared with anybody. I have not. But I think it might be important to show some receipts about this potential neighbor. You see that Dodge Avenger? Right there? Anybody see it? Everybody confirming? Does that look like a Dodge? Did I say Avenger? Did I mean Charger? No, it was a Dodge Avenger, right? Did my brain just go into like mush? Have I lost my mind? I'm loading it. My Discord just crashed. Great. Avenger. Thank you. Damn it. I know it's grainy. Let me pull another one up. What are y'all doing over there? Looking sus? But this might help. This was September 2021 Google Maps. This made me think of Donna too. I was like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Donna, get out of my head. Because you know, she said she saw this smokestack things, blah, 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 blah. Avenger. Does that look like one? Like a blue one? Right? Stay with me. Right? Right here. Okay. Well, I'm not going to out or dox this poor kid, and I refuse to do so. But I will tell you, and you got to trust me on this because I do have some integrity at the end of the day. That's where the blue Dodge came from. That is the neighbor. Maybe not the one they spoke to. I can't confirm for 100% certainty, but I just do know that Dodge Avenger it came from. That area, if you will. They look like fine people, great people. One of the family members, not so much, but we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. So, I thought it was very interesting that, you know, they wanted to speak to the driver of the Honda Pilot. They know who the pilot is owned by, but they just don't know who was driving it that day. And then the Blue Avenger. They wanted to know who was driving that car. And I found it very interesting that they didn't stop at the stop sign before turning. And they made it very important on a local level to report that they didn't stop at the stop sign before turning. They just boom. And that could mean nothing. That could be Eve being overly persnickety about things and looking into it too much, hair splitting detail kind of thing. Jody Sue Browning it, chewing all the flavor out of it. But I did think that was interesting that they put it in there because they didn't have to. But maybe they needed somebody to notice that specific detail that they ran that stop sign. Because I know when somebody runs it in my neighborhood, you son of a bitch, you know, you could have hit my kid if he was out. But that's just me. I just wanted to mention that. So I would love to confirm if it was that neighbor and they don't need to be outed and they don't need to be that harassed. It's just interesting if that was the one. That's all. Because they both mentioned basically pintail. That's all.
Now, hang on. Who went out with him and said they found nothing?
Sarah and Brendan went out together.
Were they walking?
They were on foot, correct? From what I understood, yes. I wasn't a witness to them leaving in a vehicle, because I had the driveway blocked off with the truck in Brandon's car, so they couldn't really leave the driveway. The truck was taking up the lengthwise of the full size of the driveway because I had the truck and then outside Brandon's car.
Absolutely,
so I was
KB.
getting that all undone. So they didn't have access to taking a vehicle to go get it, to go look for him. So they went out on foot.
Okay, well, here's a map of the red dot is where you used to live, and
Yep.
where it says the other red dot where it says Vaughan family home.
Yep.
4-minute walk.
Yeah. So that's on. They live off of 9th Street. I live off. So where that road is, that's 9th Street, and then you literally can go on 8th. So you have to, in order to get to 9th Street, you can get there two ways. You have to come in from the subdivision. So that road right there, that curves. You see the right where between family and home, that road right there. So that is not I-95. So you pull into the subdivision. There's a road right there. right directly below the letter U in Vaughan. That road right there, that's 8th Street, and then you go the next road down. That's 9th Street. If you go lower, continue going below the first stop or the first road, that's 9th Street. So you can get there 2 different ways. You can go pull into the right off the road, main strip. You'll run into a stop sign. You can either take a left at the stop sign, and then take a right on 9th Street, or you can go down 8th Street. There's another entrance, another. You'll see like at the end of all the houses, kind of like on the road that continues into the.
Let me help you, Stacey. Let me help you, because woo-wee. Basically, here's 9th Street. The red dot is Michael's home. The red dot up here is their home. You can come into the subdivision by going off of Southwest 8th Street, where you pass the splash pad and go down Washington onto 9th, or you can go down to Arizona and then turn onto Southwest 9th. There you go. Bless him, though.
Just kind of like on the road that continues into the map, you'll see that there is that's 8th Street. So you can take a left on 8th Street, off of 8th Street.
One question, and if I spoke to that,
Absolutely. Which is where the Vaughan family lived. Nor do I even know who Michael Vaughan is. I had no idea that there was a little boy even named Michael Vaughan until the night in question.
You hear that, Chrissy?
I wish I could see the chats. Is there any way I could see chats?
Well, I'm going to start putting
I
questions
wish
up
you
here in
would,
a second.
sir. I wish you would have seen my comments, because you'd have been like, "Who the hell? How does she know?" Get Eve on panel. I have it, But that's okay. It's not my show. It was hers, and I feel like I maybe have overstepped with all of the questions. I apologize, Brooke. I didn't mean to do that, but I've been sleuthing this shit for 2 years. Okay, I need some answers to help bring Michael home if I can. So he has never seen or heard of Michael in his life. Brandon has said the same thing. Sarah has said the same thing. We just really need Adrian to kind of confirm all this shit, really. Come on now.
Everyone is just saying, justice for Michael Vaughan, that, you look great, stuff like that. If anyone's in here attacking our guest, you're going to be timed out. He's here to tell his story. So we have to be respectful.
Wakey.
Okay. We have to be. There's no point. I spoke to him this morning. He was very forthcoming with me.
For a couple of days. And
well, I'm glad that you guys saw the light, because I've been trying to get y'all to stop hating on that poor man without knowing the facts. Just because I have an opinion on parents of a missing child does not mean that we disrespect or hate on and accuse people of shooting up heroin in between their fingers when it's either psoriasis or an anxiety tick. Yeah, I said what I said. Treating people like that. And he forgave them for that. That's really, really awesome.
Sarah had asked me, and she goes, I know that you aren't able to have kids because you're infertile, but Brandon's here, and I'm wondering if we can maybe try with him. And at that point, I was like, I wasn't comfortable with it 100%, but I was like, you want a kid so bad, then fine. I was like, okay, that's, do what you got to do. She goes, it's only going to be, for a couple days,
I honestly do not think it's relevant at all to be talking about the reproductive tendencies of these people. I don't care. Do whatever you do with your peepees. I don't care. But I know that it was a contingent thing with Brandon stating something on it. It's really irrelevant in my opinion, unless something else comes up that says it isn't. Okay. And I know people are going to say, well, that's why they abducted Michael, because they needed a kid because he couldn't have one and Brandon didn't like laying down. So no. If you actually listen to Sarah's TikToks like I have in excruciating detail and have gone over, you would know that she does not want kids. She actually said that she doesn't want kids. She gave hers up for adoption, her daughter, who she has talked about a few times in her TikTok, because she got pregnant when she was young. From my understanding, she never wanted any. So whatever. I just don't really buy it.
Just, but we have to do it a few times a day. And I'm like, okay. Well, that few times a day,
Hang on, we lost Stacey
the most deceitful. I don't know how else to put it. Lying.
again.
Are you there?
Yeah, right here.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
So Sarah was not loyal to you,
No,
obviously.
not in the slightest at all.
Well, to dabble into the Steve show here for just a second. I know I'm not trying to be Krabby Patty, but I've had to listen to some drama for your mama. And I have some questions, sir. Because I was told by the TikTok of Sarah, God's Girl 4114, that you cheated on her, sir. You cheated on her and she was broken. And she said the devil was trying to break up y'all's relationship. It was because of who you were hanging out with and who was allowing to influence you. So I'm just wondering why the accusations. She has a right to hear her side, or we have a right to hear her side. If you're going to put her on blast like that, because he does blast her.
Okay.
Sarah was the most deceitful. I don't know how else to put it. Lying bitch that I've ever been with in my life. She destroyed me as a person.
The same can be said. Look. Sarah's in jail. Sarah's in jail until 2026, and you got out early. And she was just minding her own business, trying to deal with her release, her conditions of her release. Okay. She didn't tell you to go sell that gun at that New Plymouth store. And I'm not trying to hate on Stacey. I'm just being real. Us women got to stick together out here in these streets. It's not easy. Not easy. And I've been scorned by a lover. It is not easy. Everybody deserves to be heard. But it's about Michael. And this is irrelevant to get back at her and to talk about. In my opinion, this stuff doesn't need to be really talked about. Even though it's a done deal, it's done. But you know why this is a topic of discussion? Because it was made a topic of discussion because of the hatred towards the alleged perps, without knowing any factual basis on if they were actually legitimate suspects. This right here, this fodder bullshit. Look, shoot, it's been 2 years of this in the Michael Vaughan case of trying to wade through this crap or this type of crap to get to the truth that matters, like 911 call times. Where was Tyler? Where was the others? And nobody still has an idea that's actually covering it and hoorah-rahing against me. And I have to sit here and talk about that shit. So this could have all been avoided if we just didn't talk about the dumb shit.
She then continuously fucked Brandon even after I got arrested. And she got released on that pretrial release before she was rearrested in November. Because Sarah tried to contact me through the phone because her fucking mom gave her my number. Tried to contact me and then pretty much tried to apologize for throwing me under the bus. And I'm sorry.
Now, this is important. This is important because if anybody does not remember, the leaked probable cause that Idaho statesman in particular got a hold of the failure to report a death charge against Sarah when they came over and opened up the door. She was calmly eating her Cheez-Its on the couch, and everybody said, "Search warrant. We have reason to believe Michael Vaughan's remains are in the back of that, in your backyard, per whatever." And when they got to the point of murder, when they mentioned murder, she said, "Murder? I've never murdered anyone in my life. Poor girl wasn't on her psych meds. She admits that because they are they're getting in the way, is what she said, because God is the way. This happens in religion. This happens where people are like, I don't need my meds that were clearly working, because something goes wrong in their lives and they blame it on not relying on God and relying on pills instead. It happens. We all know it does. That's what happened to her. She stopped taking her meds. She went loony boony and in a weird state of shock, in my opinion, when you have police busting in your door saying you murdered a little child and they're in your backyard. I think you're going to lose your fucking mind and you're going to say some shit and you're going to try to make sense of it before your panic attack sets in, which she actually did have on the ride to the jail. And they weren't really too happy when she threw up in the car. From the dispatch notes. Wasn't a good time, if you will. All right. And that was the second time she had thrown up. The first time, I believe, was the Tanner Butler incident. But I digress. By the way, I think Tanner's in Walla Walla or somewhere in Washington, arrested. That'd be interesting to know how he's doing and why. But anyway, so I'm just saying that I think the reason why they dropped that charge is because it was a rambling of a mad woman who wasn't on her meds and clearly, from what I understand, is schizophrenic. Allegedly, Wanda Westbrook can clarify that. She's the one that said it, or that I heard it from. If you don't know who LaWanda is the PR rep, if you will.
I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't mean to. I didn't have that intention. And I was like, yeah, but you fucking did. There's not, there's no hesitation. Like, you did what you did. You threw me and you got me arrested for having my gun. Yeah, I mean, she snitched on me for selling my gun.
Let's bring the receipts on that, Stacey. I'm sorry, I was too nice and I didn't think that I was going to speak yet, but no, let's do that. Let's speak on that. Because I've done the videos of Tanner Butler and the whole call. I've made a video on that. Now, what did we remember? Tanner Butler got smacked in the back of the head, back of the ear, with a little scratchy scratch from the dog bone, because she was like, get the hell out of my house, demon man. You drunkard. I don't do that shit in my house. Get out. And he said, no. Make me. You told me I could stay here. I need help. My mama said I can't come back to the house. I got tickets all over the damn United States because I can't drive worth a damn. Leave me alone. And she said, pull up. And she did. Literally pulled up. And said, how about this? Steal in your face. Which is a felony, and which is why she's serving her sentence as we speak. However, in that police report, what did it say? Hi, Matthew Vasily. Hi, Green Eyes. Yes, Green Eyes. I hope she's asking about that storage unit too. Yeah. But which one are you talking about, Green Eyes? We'll talk in a minute. What did Tanner do? He sang like a canary because him and the police officer were talking outside as he was crying, screaming, yelling, hollering. And they just so happened to see a gun holster in the blinds on the bed. Probable cause, boom. What's this? Oh, shit. Because Sarah went and hid this gun at her mama's house. Because she didn't want anybody getting in trouble, especially her. But from what I understand, Tanner was the one that said, he also has weapons. He has weapons, y'all. He has weapons. And guess what? He went and sold this rifle to somebody in New Plymouth. Tanner is the one that said that. Now, the one that corroborated it was Sarah, because under federal investigation, The same FBI agent, Mr. Nemo, God bless you, love Nemo, love Doug Hart, great people. They were investigating that because when they get word of a federal crime, they have to do some research. That's what triggered that April 2022 incident. Tanner did it. Sarah had to cooperate. If she lied for you, honey, she was going to go down with you. Somebody's got to feed the kiddies in that house and run the taxi business. Don't go selling firearms illegally and falsify a report to get some money. You don't need to be having them. That is your condition of your issues. Again, not slighting Stacey. It really sounds like I don't want him on my panel, doesn't it? But the truth is the truth. So if it's a problem, it's a problem. And I'm sure Stacey is a kind enough man to understand where I'm coming from because the truth is the truth. He seems like he appreciates that. So no disrespect or shade meaning to be sent to you, but that's the truth. That's what really happened. And it's okay to be mad at somebody who you feel has hurt you. But that right there was not Sarah's fault, in my opinion. And she's serving that sentence. She's the one that's in prison until 2026. And or longer. That's just when she's eligible for parole that she may not get. Is anybody getting what I'm putting down? Does that make sense? Matt, you be nice in this chat. Green Eyes, any crimes unsolved involving a gun around that time? Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I have spoken on a case, a double homicide in May of 2022, ironically, when all of the shit hit the fan for these people, because that's when Stacey was arrested. Sarah was already arrested for the Tanner Dodbo looking ass incident. People were setting up shop in that house when they were in prison. Randy Strickland being one of them. You will hear that in the live. If you go watch it on your own, and if I ever get through this thing, which I doubt, because it's already an hour and 30 minutes long. I'll wrap it up here shortly, actually, for Mr. Eve. But there were people setting up shop in that house that Sarah wasn't even aware of. Potentially, maybe Stacey wasn't. Maybe he can confirm this. And that was ironically the time that everybody was losing their ever-loving mind on the Twitter weasels who wanted to just come and search for the poor boy because nothing was being done over there, we felt. Which ended up being a hate on Eve bash session and split the community in two on Twitter. It was already splitting, but yeah. May 2022 was a damn interesting time, especially when there was a double homicide in New Plymouth, Megan Amaya and Eric Ortega, because of some shit, because of some gang shit that was going on. So interesting that he, sells this gun in New Plymouth. And then he gets arrested. Stacey gets arrested for the crime 6 days before that double homicide. So obviously he couldn't have been involved. What I'm saying is that it's just interesting the timing that May 2022 was a fucking shit show. Is all. Who was staying in that house while y'all were arrested? Do you know? Do you know? Because Brandon was also, I think, in trouble at that time. There was a fancy situation going on. I don't know if you know any fancy situations that were going on in your home. Maybe they can figure that out. What was going on? I think that's probably where this investigation was going and got triggered from. Ruby Rose, a month after Monkey went missing, a guy supposedly committed suicide by by jumping off the bridge into the river. So many weird things shook up that area in the months afterward. Yeah, And he was actually, I don't like speaking on people that have been deceased that, you know, we don't know the circumstances of their crimes and such, but there was a few people that passed away after Michael vanished that were interesting. I will say that. And I know who you're talking about. Somebody commits suicide by drowning by putting a whole bunch of rocks on top of them. It's very difficult for me to it's very difficult for me to understand that is a suicide, but I digress. He had a lot of issues going on, and he had some crimes that were not favorable in the eyes of protecting our children. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. And he drowned in the Snake River, yes.
That's what it was. That's why I went to fucking jail. She snitched on me for it. And then and some of y'all are confused about the time frames that she got arrested when I got arrested. So she was arrested April 13th of 2022, which was the day of our anniversary. Because she held our tenant, Tanner Butler, who was also staying with us at the time, at gunpoint. Threatened him, told him that he had to fucking leave and all this other shit. And he
back, you're gonna get this gat.
He wasn't gonna leave, she was gonna kill him.
That's illegal.
So Sarah turned into a dispute. The cops got called. Sarah ended up getting arrested that night. I didn't. I was still home. But they
Now hold on. So you were still home on what date?
No, this was
Let me clear this up real quick. Sarah was arrested on 4/13/2022. Got 4 charges. Excuse me, 5 charges on her ass, poor thing. And then in May, on May 10th, May 10, 2022, Stacey was arrested for the felony firearm charge. Federal. For selling that gun in New Plymouth that Tanner ratted on him for. And blamed Brandon. And guess who? Ironically, guess who tried to pin that whole thing on? Brandon. Stacey actually was like, that's Brandon's. That's Brandon's rifle. And Brandon was like, the fuck? Well, when Nemo, I'm sure when he did his investigation and saw that, sir, you're the one that walked into this store, this gun store, to sell this gun and falsify the report that you wrote. They figured it out pretty quickly that it wasn't Brandon's, I'm sure. But I think he admitted to it before all that shit went down. So the investigation was already investigating when you admitted to that. And just don't forget that you tried to pin it on Brandon. That's not right. Just clearing the air.
The day of his disappearance. This is the day of our anniversary, April 13th of 2022. This is when Sarah got arrested for the failure to report, or she got charged with assault and battery, attempted concealment or attempted destruction of evidence, and possession of a controlled substance. She had hydrocodones.
Yeah, we know
in her purse that were in a bag. She put them in a bag because the bottle had got moisture inside of it and the pills were getting wet. So she took them out in the county.
And she got those pills not from like drug dealing and wheeling. She got them from her dentist. She had a tooth pulled. All right. And she just kept them in the bag in the purse that she barely used, from what I'm understanding. Because she put the gun that she hid at her mama's house in the purse with the Vicodin or the hydrocodone, whatever. But because they were in there and it was all a part of the crime, if you will, for her hiding that gun that she wasn't supposed to have as a felon, she got popped with that controlled substance charge that was later dropped.
9:00 at night, called dispatch, told them that I was there to pick up my phones. Law enforcement met me outside, and then I had my dog with me at the time, Oakley, the one that you guys have pictures of.
Wake up.
I then was told to get out of the car and ask him. So the next day, Sarah,
I got videos. Look, I've got videos of this if you want to go watch it. You literally just put Michael Vaughan, Sarah Wondra series. It's a whole 6-part series that explains it all. And it's kind of entertaining.
Not that I know of. There was never any sexual discussion. Of course, Sarah wasn't always up in front. I'm not that person. I find it very rude and disrespectful and degrading to a woman to even ask a question like that.
Well, I oppose you, Brandon or Sarah,
Oh, how
drive
da-
on 9th Street.
how
No.
dainty.
I know personally I didn't. I cannot speak for Brandon or Sarah. So I don't know. I can't speak for them. Like I said, I will not lie about somebody. Like I told you this morning, I will not lie or speak on somebody's behalf if I don't know the truth to it.
Did you ever stop on 8th in Arizona that night?
Correct. On the way out of the subdivision, we did. We were in the truck. The truck, I always had to put power steering in the truck because the power steering pump was going out. It had
Important.
the it's called the high pressure gasket ring that connects the power steering hose to the core.
Yeah. What
I
time?
didn't fix that until after like a month later. I ended up getting it fixed, but it was called the high pressure seal. There we go, high pressure seal for the power steering.
Gotcha.
So the power steering had a huge
What
was
time?
spraying all over it. Every probably I don't know, probably every 4,
This is
5,
true.
6 hours we had to.
This is true because they had a hazmat call for having that sprayed all over the place. That is a fact. So I have the May 2021 call log analysis that I will not put on here, but trust me when I say if you need me to post the receipts, I will. But it just takes too long to load because there's like a billion pages. But there was a hazmat call at 11:02 Red Wing because that shit was leaking everywhere. He is telling the truth. I think I even have the report on that. Almost positive. I do, but I'm not going to pull it up. He is not lying.
To stop and refill power steering fluid because there was a huge whining noise going on and it was causing from the power steering.
Okay,
We did stop on Arizona.
so you did stop on 8th in Arizona. What
Yeah.
vehicle were you in?
The truck.
Burgundy truck.
Carson's truck or
No,
The burgundy.
Truck. My truck. The GMC Sierra.
The gosh darn burgundy truck. Not the green one. Not the Lexus. Not the Mercedes. The beat up burgundy truck.
okay. I'm sorry. No, okay, you're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. I mean, you're being transparent. You're clearing everything up.
That's all I'm here to do. Want people to know, like I'm not what it seems to be. You know, that's why I'm doing this because I want people to be like, okay, like he's really being serious. You know.
Oh, we know.
He
Trust me, we know
is.
you're serious.
Even though I disagree with some of the shade at Sarah, which is honestly none of my business. He knows her better than I do. He is speaking some facts that I can attest to. We're doing good so far.
Okay, now I want to ask you something. Again, if there's something that you don't feel comfortable answering, then don't.
Okay.
I know several people have talked to Adrian, and he said that he was in a sexual relationship
Nice.
with Sarah.
I honestly do not get the who. Okay, Levy Brooke, thanks for clearing that up.
Sarah has been very.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip on it. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over it though.
Very dishonest and deceitful and very ignorant.
Uh-huh.
You know, that must have felt horrible when, you found out the truth about people you trusted.
It was devastating. It was not. It wasn't. And Sarah and I had a lot of those, but never once. I mean, there was never a time that I felt the need to lie to her or hide shit from her. I was open about everything with her.
Did you want to have a child, or was it more Sarah?
I mean, that's where, and there was times where she was like, what do you?
Do you have any opinion why Sarah said you?
3 years. She'll be out. Her parole eligibility date is February 20th of 2026.
Speaking
but
on
that
those
doesn't mean
facts
she's gonna get
again.
out. That's just when she. will
That's
see
when
the
she's
parole.
eligible for parole. Correct.
Now, can I ask you another question?
Yeah,
Do you have any opinion why Sarah said you were involved?
not at all. I know for a fact I wasn't even home. At the time frame that this little boy went missing, or
Hello,
I
Marty.
wasn't home throughout the day.
Thank you all for
And then
being
there
here.
was nothing odd going on at our house, even when I got home that night. So it makes no sense at all. Not.
So it makes no sense at all that anybody would say that. Well, Sarah specifically in her ramblings of a mad woman, probable cause. God told me Stacey did it. God told me Adrian did it. Blah blah blah. I don't. It was taken out of fucking context, guys. She was rambling. Police busted through her door and said, "We have a warrant to search your backyard for human remains." I'd shit my pants. I'm going to be real with you guys. I would shit my pants. And probably roll on the ground like she did when she had enough. in the driveway. JLR has a picture of that. I'm not going to post it. I feel bad for her. But I don't feel like this is being spun. It's being spun improperly. And it's really unfair, in my opinion, to harp on somebody's mental illnesses and then use that to charge them just because they rambled. If you don't have proof, in my opinion, if you don't have actual proof of what they're saying, I don't know why she was arrested, honestly.
One piece of it. I know for a fact it wasn't me. So I don't know where she's getting her little ridiculous pieces of information, but they've got the wrong person. I wasn't even home. And like I also told you this morning, Brooks, and I'll let everybody know on here, 3 people on May 19th of 2022 got polygraph tests on behalf of Michael Vaughan.
Listen up,
Sarah,
guys.
Brandon, and me. Out of the
I'm
3
going to
people
replay
got
that.
tested,
It's important.
her little parole board.
Now, can I ask you another question?
I know for a fact it wasn't me. So I don't know where she's getting her little ridiculous pieces of information, but they've got the wrong person. I wasn't even home. And like I also told you this morning, Brooks, and I'll let everybody know on here, 3 people on May 19th of 2022 got polygraph tests on behalf of Michael Vaughan. That was Sarah, Brandon, and me. Out of the 3 people that got tested, I was the only one to pass the polygraph test. Sarah and Brandon had failed it.
I have a problem with this. It was not cleared up during the live, which I understand that Brooke maybe could not have cleared that up yet, or, it's hard to keep the rapport going if you're badgering on things. You just let them speak. And I don't know in the history of the cases that I have researched that the police were being honest, first of all, if they told you about lie detector test results, unless they were clearing you or had nothing else they needed from you because they know you didn't do anything or was complicit. But if they do tell you, it's either lying to get more information to see where it goes because it's admissible in court. Correct? So we don't really know that if it's true or not. Not that I'm saying he's lying, but what if the information he's getting is a lie? He doesn't know any better, right? I mean, hell, he's saying that the tip that they say came from him, he didn't tip nothing in. So we don't know shit, y'all. There's a lot of investigative tactics that we will not know of, but you cannot assume that you do. How about that? That's what I'm trying to say. Take everything with a grain of salt. What we do know from the mouth of babes, meaning the mother of Michael, has confessed to Chris Medina from the interview room that Tyler failed his polys. That was in February of 2022. Take that as you will. I'm not slighting him. People can be honest and fail polys, okay? We're not going to go over that again. This is just what was said, damn it. He fails polys and gets his Miranda rights read, meaning Tyler Vaughan, in February of 2022. For whatever reason, allegedly DNA was requested for Michael too, comparative DNA testing, for what I will not speak on. But then you have jump forward, 4 months? 3 months in May of 2022, and this shit's hitting the fan. There's got to be something there. There has to be. I think the investigation was rolling slowly forward at that point. I'm not saying they're connected in any way. I'm just saying there was something there to get DNA evidence for whatever reason. I believe she said it was a shoe, a shirt, whatever. It doesn't matter. That they gave the FBI. They had to do some more testing. And I'm wondering if that testing and whatever they found or whatever they got from the excavation was what they were comparing. I don't know why the Miranda rights thing was being read, and it could be nothing. It could be, I mean, it's never nothing. I can tell you that. It's never nothing. And it's never something to shake off when somebody fails the polygraph test. It's not. But if you look at it from a laissez-faire, no emotions, and not blaming anybody, it's interesting. Maybe there was something there. Maybe the police lied and said he failed to get some other ball rolling. Who knows? But there's got to be something connecting there. February 2022 and March of 2022. What is it? Right? And we might not need to know. But I can tell you with certainty that February 2022 call logs, 911 call logs, prove that, in fact, somebody made a visit on Southwest 9th, which coincides with the whole Miranda rights thing and the DNA request. I'll just say that. So what is it, I wonder? Maybe there's something here that we can think of, or maybe there's something that you can help me connect the dots with, or help others, especially locals, connect the dots to get justice for Michael, however that may come, as long as it's the truth.
So I just want to put that out there for everybody, just so you guys have an idea. Unfortunately, in the eyes of Idaho, I don't know everybody else, but in the eyes of Idaho law, a polygraph is not admissible in court unless it is deemed that you failed it. So
no, not at all, honey. Like at all.
I don't know. I'm
It
appalled.
isn't.
I'm very appalled.
Is that if that's what the detectives told you, they wrong. Lie detector test cannot be used as evidence. Now you can tell the court in the back room he passed or failed if you want to, if that helps you. Good night, Brooke, honey. Thank you for being here. I'm wrapping up, I swear, y'all, because it is almost 2 hours and it is almost 11 Central. But it's important to know that it can be talked about, but it can't be entered into evidence in court. Did they tell him otherwise? I want to know. Sometimes people don't know and they assume. Maybe I misunderstood him.
Like I told you this morning as well, I want justice for this little boy. I want this little boy to come back home to his mother and father. It tears me up inside. I hurt
Me too.
because I want this little boy to be with his family. I would kill somebody if that happened to my kid. So I can only imagine what they're going through.
How old is your baby?
I don't have a baby.
Oh, you said my kid. Okay,
No, I was saying like in general, like if that was me in that situation and somebody took my kid, I would kill somebody.
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Did it what?
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Yeah, and I told them I don't have any idea. They asked me about our backyard, and I said that's not even possible. There's no trench marks. There's no dig marks. There's absolutely no. There's nothing. There's not even. I mean, there's nothing at all in our backyard. Even by the shed that people are questioning about, that shed was there on our property since we moved there. That house belonged to Sarah's mom.
Preach. I know, honey, and I have been telling everybody that has been lying on that Levid, Lana, CJ. Quit lying, because that shed was there in 2020, but they wanted to spin it like they bought this new shed to cover up Michael. That's some bullshit, and y'all need to be held accountable for that bullshit you're spreading over there, because this is a case of a missing boy, and that shit is not okay. It's not okay. Retract your statements, heifers, because the proof is in the pudding. Go look at the reports. Go do some work. and go look at the fucking reports that say that shed has been there since 2020. Go look at way before 2020. Go look at Zillow. You can Google Zillow before they ever even moved in, and the shed is there. Do some work. You don't have to be a detective to just prove small things, but quit running your narrative over there because it's making you look sus.
My dad. And we were there since June of 2020.
20 of 20. Okay. And when did Adrian move in approximately?
It's like a year later, I want to say, like June, early July.
And how did you guys come across him? Because
Thank
he
you,
has
Dandy.
an issue with, human trafficking.
I told you that this morning. So Sarah had called me for a. I was at home at the time. I don't know. This is in June or early July. Called me and
Thank you,
said that, hey,
Chris.
I have a question for you. We need to talk. I have a taxi customer who called me asking if we would just help him out with a ride. He doesn't have any money at the time, but I'm really compelled to help him. He also doesn't have a place to live. He's staying behind a dumpster in Coldwell. Do you feel like we're in a position to help him out? My response to Sarah was this. I said, I do not feel comfortable. I said, our situation. You know that, yes, we do have a heart to help people. We love to help people. But we're not in a financial situation nor a physical ability to take on somebody else's, problems.
I see both sides, Stacey. I agree with you, honey. You gotta help. People gotta help themselves. You gotta teach a man how to fish. I am with you. But I also understand Sarah feels that her obligation to the Lord, is to help everybody, including the neighbor, the homeless neighbor, the ex-wife of the neighbor who is homeless, who also got a car from them through Carson. That was very nice of you to do. Who was staying there in October of 2022. Don't forget to mention that, somebody, whoever gets to interview Mr. Stacey. What was she doing there? There were some bad influences, I think Sarah said, was around you at the time. Maybe you can clear that up. Maybe she misunderstood. Sushi chef guy, please speak on the sushi chef guy, Mr. Yuri. Bless his heart. Rest in peace, Jacob. Rest in peace. He did pass August 4th, 2022. Or 2021, excuse me. But an interesting fellow nonetheless. What I'm trying to get at is, where did we get to digging up the backyard because somebody said he may be there? You can't just get probable cause, or you can't just get a warrant from ramblings of a mad woman where the police got there because somebody felt that this was going on and that's where he was. It's giving me who potentially are setting these people up for failure. Or I'm a dumbass and they're really, really good at covering themselves up in this crime, which I doubt. What was the motive? What was the motive to abduct a child, an innocent, beautiful boy, and put him in the backyard that nobody even had an inkling that he could be back there over a year and some change before, he's there? I think Chris McDonough was saying something very important when he did the interview with the parents and the grandfather at the house. He said something along the lines of, you got to start looking outside of the neighborhood. Little did we know it was just the other neighborhood. Little did we know it was going to be for a 4-minute walk away. Which was a setup to me to, once this happened, to grab onto it and hold on to it as something solidified when it fell apart faster than the Karen Reed case. Free Karen Reed. So I'm going to wrap it up. Got 4 minutes left. I'm going to do the other half, or the other third, the 2/3 that are remaining, as soon as I can, guys. You know, I'm a new mama to a mama to a newborn. And so time is of the essence. It's hard to get to my lives, but I'm going to try. Mr. Eve's going to give me time. Wink, wink. He's going to give me the time to do it, right, Mr. Eve? No, he's been great. Yeah, Shani, what a rocky situation. What a rocky ass situation to have things planted in your backyard or wherever your crawl space, if that was the case. Rocky situation. Truly is. Truly, 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 truly. Lenny, so many create narratives to fit their needs and not the truth. Yeah, right. So I'm going to end on this, guys. What if the most important part of this whole thing just may be the taxi cab business in its theory, okay? What if the timelines that the public are aware of are just to keep everyone at bay because you're going to spin in circles because there's no way to know for a fact, and you never will until trial, that the timeline they're giving and the information they're giving is worth a damn. We've seen it in other cases where everybody in the public said, I thought the crime happened at 6 a.m. Damn, it was 11 o'clock the night before. And they knew the whole time, but they wanted the public to mind their damn business. Right? It's possible. And I'm not saying that we should go looking. But what I am saying is it's not okay to convict innocent people, allegedly innocent people, when they're obviously showing you and telling you their side of the story, and there's nothing, not a single thing out there that is saying otherwise. Matter of fact, there's more proof that they're telling the truth. That's what I'm seeing. So just don't jump the gun because you think you know, or they look a certain way. Maybe people get taken advantage of for looking a certain way and being and acting a certain way. What a horrible thing to be accused of a crime you didn't commit with no motive and no hardcore proof. Just a tip that somebody called in and said some shit because they were pissed off, right? Potentially. Absolutely, Dandy. We love that baby. He's so cute. I am going to post a members only live with a little bonus photo of the baby. He's so handsome. Or you can join my Discord, and if you want to see the baby, I will just it's in my Discord. He's so handsome. Plum says, I believe when all of this comes out that the family will be shocked at all involved in Michael's disappearance. I've never believed these people had anything to do with Michael's disappearance. Likewise. But it's not for us to know. It's for us to have an opinion on it one way or the other. But it's to do the right thing and stop slandering these people you don't know nothing about just because you heard it on a channel that incites you to feel so. Look at the receipts, right? I'd act weird if I was innocent and being lynched by the internet. Shit, I'd be coming out swinging. Throw a dog bone at your ass virtually. Bap. But now you get swatted for having an opinion these days that people don't like. So it's very, very dangerous. Lenny says the Adrian dude does creep me out and his history is sus. I mean, everybody's sus if you think about it. Shit. Everybody's sus. Tyler has a drug and criminal history. Does anybody think that he's guilty? 99% of the community does not or have any involvement. So that's not really fair. But I understand, and it's good to take into consideration. But look at the facts. Look what they're saying. And let's just sleuth it out. All right, guys. Much love to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. You know, as I say, hug yourself. Drink your water first. Drink your water. Hug yourself. Hug your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Don't throw dog bones at folks. You can wind up getting a felony and catching a charge. And I will see you guys on the next live. And let's finish this. It's important. See you on the next live, guys. Bye.